Hello friends, I am Arpit and I am here with today's analysis. Today is 4th of June and we are going to deal with two very important topics which are in news. The first is we need to dream new dreams, says our Prime Minister. While returning back from the Vivekanand Memorial, he penned down his thoughts and he clearly highlighted on the facts what Bharat has achieved till now. He also highlighted that what Bharat needs to do that is more important from now till 2047 in order to become a developed country or a Viksit Bharat by then. And there he said that we need to dream new dreams. Reforms should be there, but reforms should not be limited to economic sphere. We need to reform, the bureaucracy needs to perform, and with Jan Bhagidari, we need to transform our country. And that is the concept of reform, perform, and transform. He also penned his thoughts on the cultural diversity, the preservation of it for the future generations, conservation of the environment as well. In a nutshell, he said that we need to broaden our canvas. Next is the issue of postal ballot. There are some categories of persons who are allowed to vote by postal ballot, like servicemen or people who are deployed in election duty or people who are deployed in essential services like media and all. The opposition has requested to complete the counting of postal ballot before the counting of EVM concludes. What is the rule? The rule is that postal ballot counting starts 30 minutes before EVM counting starts and can be or cannot be completed before the EVM counting is completed. Before 2019, there was this rule that the postal ballot counting starts before EVM counting and has to be completed before EVM counting is completed. But in 2019, the Election Commission of India changed this rule and that mandate of completing the postal ballot counting before the EVM counting is completed was done away with. The opposition parties are now requesting the Election Commission of India to resort back to that previous law that was before 2019. The Election Commission of India has not yet responded in this matter. Now, let's get started with the first topic, that is, we need to dream new dreams, says the Prime Minister. After meditating, returning back from the Swami Vivekanand Memorial, while on his way back only, he penned down his thoughts. He not only talked about that particular place, Kanyakumari or Swami Vivekanand, but most importantly, he talked about Bharat as an entity. He talked about, you know, achievements of Bharat. What has Bharat achieved till now? And he talked about what Bharat needs to do. This is going to be the nutshell of this particular topic. He called Bharat as the mother of democracy because it is the world's largest democracy. Elections are like, I would say, a democratic festival or a festival of democracy, and it is celebrated. He also talked about the philosophy of Swami Vivekanand. He said that Swami Vivekanand once said that every nation has a message to deliver, a mission to fulfill, and a destiny to reach. Our destiny is a Viksit Bharat. A mission to fulfill is the Viksit Bharat mission. Once done, we will be having a message to deliver. A message to deliver to all those underdeveloped and developing countries who are striving for development. A message to deliver to all poor people of of the world that how your government can help you come out of this poverty. A message to the developed countries of the world that we are here on the same podium as you are and we are here to stay. So, this is how things can be in the future, but yes, it will depend on the efforts of all of us. But yes, first, what Bharat has achieved. First, in this is Bharat has been moving forward with this sense of meaningful purpose. It has been a cradle of ideas for thousands of years. We have never considered what we have acquired as our personal wealth or measured it purely by economic or material parameters till now. And here comes the philosophy of idam na mama. This is not mine, has become an inherent and natural part of character of Bharat. And these kind of terms can be used in your essay writing also. So idam na mama is this is not mine. This philosophy. Everything is here. Everything is going to stay here on the earth. The philosophy of trusteeship is also, linked to idam na mama. The next is Bharat's welfare benefits our planet's journey. to progress as well. Now, India has led by example. When India got independence in 1947, India not only became independent, but it also inspired a lot of colonized countries in the world at that time. Those countries were in Africa, in Asia, and we acted like their leaders. And we did it in a non-violent manner. We showed it to the entire world that things can be achieved like this as well. This is an alternate way of achieving things. The same spirit was witnessed during COVID-19 pandemic. COVID-19 pandemic, you know, there were a lot of struggles for the underdeveloped world, especially. We stood up for them when nobody else. We supplied them with logisticals. We supplied them with medicines. Later on, we supplied them with vaccines. This is how we could extend our influence on those countries. Actually, a friend in need is a friend indeed. This is the philosophy which we adopted. And this is not the first time this philosophy we adopted. We adopted it during the decolonization phases as well. So, this is what Bharat actually is. Then, next is Bharat's governance model has become an example for many countries. There are 25 crore people which the government has claiming that has exited out of poverty in the last 10 years. From 2015-16 till 2021, the estimate is 13.5 crores. But if I take from 2014 till 2024, government is estimating it to be around 25 crore people, and that is according to the National Multi-Dimensional Poverty Index released by Niti Aayog. Now, innovative practices such as pro-people good governance, aspirational districts, aspirational blocks are being discussed globally today. From empowering the poor to last mile delivery, we have inspired the world by prioritizing individuals standing at the last rung of the society, and here digitalization has played a key role. And that is why he mentioned about Bharat's Digital India campaign is now an example for the entire world how we can use technology to empower the poor, bring in transparency, reduce poverty, and things like this. Inexpensive data in Bharat, see, one of the cheapest internets is there in our country, is becoming a means of social equality by ensuring the reach of information and services to the poor. So, digitalization has played a very, I would say, important role in, first of all, governance, effective service delivery, and since the services were delivered to the poorest of the poor, poverty alleviation did happen. Now, Bharat as a global leader. Today's India's stature no doubt has increased a lot, but it has not increased just like that only. India has contributed to the world in times of need. We successfully conducted a G20 summit, which became an example for the member countries, and they were seen saying that, it is difficult to match India's, I would say, standards set by it. And we are at such a position that we are also in this position to benefit our partner countries who are partnering with us. Our economy is the fastest growing economy. We should not forget that. And all this, you know, we can envision a bigger role for us. Today, India is acknowledged as a strong and important voice of the global south. Global south is developing and underdeveloped countries of Asia, Africa, and South America. When we became the president of G20 in 2022, then and only we declared that we are going to be the voice of the global south. We are going to present your concerns over there at this table where 20 largest economies are meeting. And guess what? It was not only 20, India made it 21 with the inclusion of African Union in G20. And this is going to have definitely more impact of India in Africa. So these were the achievements of Bharat till now. But what should Bharat do? This is most important. We need to dream new dreams. That is the underlying, I would say, aspiration which should be there. If we want to be there by 2047, we must see Bharat's development in a global context. And for this, it is essential that we understand Bharat's internal capabilities, our strengths. Our strength is a fastest growing economy. Our strength is rich and diverse culture. Our strength is the strongest diaspora in the world. Our strength is the youngest population. We are there, we can reap the demographic dividend. So we should bank upon it, work in the right direction, and we will be achieving it. And for working in the right direction, we need to do certain reforms. And mind you, these reforms should not only be in the economic sphere, it should be an overall, I would say, reform in the economic sphere, in the social sphere, in the cultural sphere, everywhere. Our engagement with the world also should increase. And the government since 2014 has shown that. The Prime Minister has given this mantra of reform, perform, and transform. Very important phenomenon for UPSC. He says that the responsibility of reform lies with the leadership, the performance. Bureaucracy will perform those on those schemes, policies, and reforms. And with people's participation, that is Jan Bhagidari, we will witness a transformation taking place, and hence this completes reform, perform, and transform. This is how, changes will be brought in. What else Bharat can do? We can strive for excellence and we can keep excellence as the fundamental principle in whatever we do. For example, manufacturing. We, you know, can go for zero defect, zero effect. We should also keep in mind while pursuing this, I would say, excellence, 4S: speed, scale, scope, and standards. We should be meeting global standards, implementing speedily, scaling up, and increasing the scope of whatever projects we undertake. We must redefine our heritage in a modern way while embracing ancient values in a modern context, upholding cultural values, since we have that strength. As a nation, we also need to reassess outdated thinking and beliefs. We need to come out of that colonial mindset. We need to come out of that VIP culture, that my bap culture, which has been prevailing and which has been pulling us back. The worthy deserves it and should get it. That should be the mantra. So, Prime Minister has said a lot of things about it. Let the results come out today, and we will see what or which bloc forms the government, whether NDA or the India Alliance, and we will further pursue their policies, whichever bloc comes to power. Now, the next is the issue of postal ballot. Postal ballot means you are not able to go to elections, cast your vote due to some reason or the other, and you post your vote to Election Commission of India. There are certain categories of people who are allowed to do that. Now, the main issue why we are covering is this particular issue is that before 2019, what used to happen? Postal ballot counting used to start 30 minutes before EVM counting and had to be concluded before EVM counting got concluded. In 2019, the Election Commission of India did some changes, and in those changes, Election Commission of India said that, postal ballot counting will start 30 minutes before EVM counting, but it is not compulsory that it gets concluded before the EVM counting. Reason being that, postal ballots and all were increasing. So, this kind of pressure, Election Commission of India said, is not there with us. We can conclude the postal ballot counting after the conclusion of EVM counting as well. The opposition has approached the Election Commission of India saying that whatever you were doing before 2019, that you were concluding the counting of postal ballots before concluding the EVM counting, you should be resorting back to that. That is the main issue. So basically, who are eligible to cast their votes via postal ballots? Service voter, those who are employed in services, government services. Electors on election duty, voters above 80 years, earlier it was 85 years, persons with disabilities, voters under preventive detention, voters on essential duties on election days, like media persons and all. And when the COVID was here, so another category was created for COVID-19 patients. You can also cast your votes via postal ballot. Now, why did EC remove these guidelines in 2019 that, postal ballot counting can be counted or can be concluded after the conclusion of EVM counting also? There were two reasons. First of all, basically the main reason was that postal ballots had gone up, especially electronically transmitted postal ballot system was introduced by the Election Commission of India. And there was another reason, that mandatory counting of VVPAT slips. This we covered, that five, I would say, polling booths VVPAT slips will be mandatorily counted in a constituency. So that also is time taking. That is also equivalent to postal ballot because that is, I would say, non-digital form of counting. What is electronically transmitted postal ballot system? We need to understand that in this electronically transmitted postal ballot system, the ballot is transmitted electronically to the voter. The voter there takes a printout of that paper, sends it back to the Election Commission of India via post in physical manner. Means electronically it is delivered and physically the voter sends it back to Election Commission of India via post on the given address. That is electronically transmitted postal ballot system. Now, procedure of this, in case of a service voter is there, means anyone is in the armed forces or central armed police forces, that person, how that person will be voting. So e-postal ballot is sent to the unit officer of that particular service officer who wants to vote. He is the voter over here. And a e-postal ballot pin is sent to the record officer. Unit officer is at the higher level. Record officer we can consider below that. And this person has to vote. So what this person will go do? He will go to this unit officer. He will take the e-postal ballot from it, which is a password protected PDF. This password is this pin, EPB pin, which is available with the record officer. He will take, this person will go to the record officer, then take this password, open it, collect EPB and EPB pin, open it, print it out, mark his vote, send that back to Election Commission of India via post. Here is a link where you can get the entire procedure on this, and this is the link from Election Commission of India's website. Benefits of service portal, basically secured way to transmit the postal ballot. End-to-end encryption is already over there. Multiple checks and validation can also be there, and facility to transmit EPB for AC and PC elections. So assembly and parliamentary elections. It is. So this is what the issue was. Now we enter the MCQs. Consider the following statements and mark the correct one. India declared itself to be the voice of the global south in G20 summit in India in 2023. African Union was included as a permanent member of G20 in 2023. Read it very carefully and answer. Second, which of the following have been the probable benefits of digital India? Increase in transparency and accountancy, better delivery of services to the people, reduction of poverty. Which among these are true? Third question, which among the following categories of people are allowed to cast their votes via postal ballots? Servicemen, voters deployed in election duty, all the voters detained in the prisons of India, cricketers playing for India in an ongoing series during elections. Carefully and answer. Consider the following statements and mark the correct one. Postal ballot counting begins before EVM counting and has to mandatorily end before the EVM counting completes. It is mandatory to count VVPAT slips from 5 polling booths in a state. So read very carefully and answer. And the last question, which one of the statements is correct with respect to electronically transmitted postal ballot system for servicemen? E-postal ballot is sent to the voter via electronic means. E-postal ballot is sent to the commanding officer of the voter via electronic means. E-postal ballot is sent via electronic means but received back by ECI via post, and none of the above. So carefully answer these questions. And with this, we come to an end of today's session. I will be seeing you tomorrow now with more such informative news pieces. Till then, you guys very well know what to do. Keep studying, keep reading, keep writing, and most importantly, keep revising. Keep watching the videos as well. Namaste. Jai.